My name is Sandy. Standing in the middle of this cold, silent living room, I'm looking at the for sale sign outside through the window. The neighborhood is buzzing with speculation, but little do they know this sign marks the end of a long, standing lie. It all started at my mom's birthday party. I'm an architect in Los Angeles, and I'd come all the way back to our family home in Miami for this occasion. I'd even bought a brand new dress during my lunch break, excited to celebrate with my family. But then my sister Lily happened. Lily slammed a jug of lemonade down on the table so hard that the glasses clattered. Before I could react, the cold liquid splashed across my white dress, running down my hair and face. The room fell dead silent. Dozens of eyes stared at me, at the sticky mess, and at me, the eldest daughter who'd just flown in from Los Angeles, now humiliated in the living room where I'd grown up. She held the empty jug like a trophy, chin up, and said in a cruel voice, "You have 5 minutes to get out. This house is mine now." I looked at my parents. Dad, a real estate agent with high, flying dreams but often in over his head, just stood there, silent. Mom, always more concerned about keeping the peace than standing up for me, also said nothing. It was as if their silence was an approval of Lily's actions. But inside me, something snapped. I wiped the lemonade from my cheek, forced a smile, and said quietly, "I don't need 5 minutes." And with that, I turned towards the stairs. Little did they know, I wasn't just leaving a birthday party. I was leaving behind years of being the overlooked child. As I climbed the stairs, my mind raced back through the years. Our family seemed perfect on the outside. Dad was always chasing the next big deal, and Mom tried to create a picture, perfect home. But inside, it was a different story. Lily, for years younger than me, was the center of the universe. Every little thing she did was celebrated, while I was the one who took care of the details, did my homework alone at the kitchen table, and cleaned up after everyone. I remembered when I got straight A's in high school. Dad just nodded and then asked Lily about her art competition. When I made the school's basketball team, Mom congratulated me briefly and then left early to take Lily to a sleepover. And there was that time in my junior year. I'd spent weeks designing a model for an architecture competition. Lily borrowed it while I was at a study group, broke it, and then made it seem like it was my fault. Dad scolded me, saying it was just a model and I needed to control my temper. I left for Los Angeles at 23 with a scholarship, thinking distance would solve everything. But when Dad's business hit a rough patch and the bank threatened to take the house, they called me. I wired money and signed the mortgage out of love and a sense of duty. But standing there with the sticky lemonade on my dress, I realized the irony. I'd helped pay for the house that Lily now claimed as hers. After changing into clean clothes, I walked back downstairs. The party had resumed its nervous chatter. Lily was in the middle of the room, laughing with her friends. I took out my phone and started recording. I asked her if she meant what she'd said about the house being hers. She smirked and said Dad had put the title in her name months ago because he knew she'd take care of them. I then mentioned that my signature was still on the old mortgage, and I didn't remember signing anything to remove it. A flicker of panic crossed her face, but she quickly covered it up, saying the lawyer had handled it. I knew then that she'd done something shady, either forging documents or pressuring our parents. I didn't go straight outside. Instead, I went to my grandpa's old study, which was now my Grandma Rose's room. Grandma Rose, a wise and no-nonsense woman, opened the door before I even knocked. She'd heard the commotion and the 5-minute ultimatum. I told her what had happened, and she just nodded with a sad look on her face. She then told me a secret. The original down payment for the house had been partly from her and Grandpa. They'd put the house in a family trust. And I was the trustee since I turned 26. She trusted me because she'd seen me work hard through college and send money home when Dad was in trouble. She gave me a folder with trust documents and a letter saying if I wanted to fight, I should use the truth and the law. I left Grandma's room with the folder, feeling a new sense of purpose. Outside, I called my old college friend Mia, who is now a real estate lawyer in Miami. I told her what had happened, and she was shocked. She said if my parents and Lily had been using the house as a cash machine without the trustees' oversight, it was a big problem. The next day, I had them meet me at Mia's office. Dad and Mom looked confused, Lily was suspicious, and my brother Tom, who was 2 years younger than Lily and always tried to stay out of family drama, lingered near the door. Mia explained the trust and showed them the new refinancing and line of credit documents that I hadn't signed. Lily tried to defend herself, saying she'd only done what was necessary to save the house, but I asked her if she hadn't told everyone the night before that she'd handled everything. I also mentioned the recording. I laid out my demands: full access to all financial documents related to the house, no more secret refinancing, and an end to Lily's Queen of the Castle behavior. Tom surprisingly sided with me, saying it was time to face the truth. Over the next few days, Mia's team dug into the financial mess. We found that without intervention, my parents would default within a year. The house, which was once an asset, was now a burden. We decided to sell the house. My parents would move into a townhouse they could afford, with mandatory financial counseling. The remaining proceeds would be split equally between me, Lily, and Tom. When I told them the news in the living room, Mom cried, saying they'd lived there for 25 years. Dad admitted they'd failed all of us. Lily accused me of being the villain, but I told her I'd rather be a strong-willed person than the doormat they'd made me. I also told Lily I could have pressed charges for fraud, but I chose to clean the slate this way. I said I didn't hate her. I hated the system that made us believe love and worth were competitions. Weeks later, with the for sale sign up, the neighborhood talked. Lily moved into a small apartment and started posting more about starting over. My parents slowly adjusted to their new life, and Tom came to visit me in Los Angeles. He asked if I regretted it. I thought about the lemonade on my face, the bank statements, and Grandma's trust. I said no. I regretted waiting so long to draw a line. So, when someone tells you to get out because this house is mine, is the real revenge taking the house back or walking away and building a life where you don't need their approval? Maybe in the end, the most powerful revenge is proving you never needed their permission to win.